Hello and welcome to Unbearable Redz TV. Today I'm going to be discussing Liverpool's interest in Bundesliga starlet Kai Havertz of Bayer Leverkusen and the one I'm most excited about, Timo Werner of Red Bull Leipzig. First of all, like and subscribe down below. Leave any comments that you want. We are a new channel and any support that you can give us is greatly appreciated. Any feedback, anything you've got to say, we're happy to hear it. So, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, offensive, attacking players, below in the Bundesliga away at the moment. Why a Liverpool Football Club with the best front line in the world? That's not for debate, it's a fact. Why are we in the market for attacking talent? Simple, we need to refresh and we need to build the next great Liverpool team. If you look at our front line at the moment, we've got my personal pick are the 5 solid options that we've got for the forward line. Bobby Firmino, Mane, Salah, Origi and Shaqiri. Now Shaqiri's being linked with a summer move to Roma for 30 million, so he's potentially not going to be there, so it's 4 out and out forwards that we've got. But the biggest issue we're going to have next season in regards to our front line is the African Cup of Nations has been moved back to being in January. So January 2021, we're going to be without Mane and we're going to be without Salah. So we're potentially going to be without our 2 top scorers for the best part of 2 months during one of the busiest periods of the season. As far as I'm concerned, that can't be allowed to happen because that would be an absolute disaster. So we need to bolster the ranks. Also, our transfer model is we buy players young or before the peak, develop them, get our best use out of them, and then move them on for big fees. Now, Firmino 28, Mane 27, Salah 27, all 3 of them are in or just getting to the end of their peak. Now, whether you agree with me or not, that's just my opinion. I think they are. They could continue at this level for another couple of years, but sooner rather than later, they are going to decline. So it would be better for Liverpool to cash in on at least one, maybe 2 of them, in the next season or 2, just so we can bring in more revenue. We're not Man City, we haven't got endless amounts of money that we can call on, so we do need to generate revenue through achievements like Champions League titles, and we also need to generate revenue through player sales like we did with Coutinho, because selling Coutinho allowed us to bring in Virgil and Alisson, and this is the exact same thing. So future transfers will be funded by the sale of these players. Now, we need to replace them with world-class talent, and why go out and buy it when you've sold, rather than having it there, ready to go, so any money we get from future sales goes right into our back pocket to plan the next phase of Liverpool's, dynasty, let's hope. So let's start by looking at the 2 players that we're linked with. We'll start off with Kai Havertz. Now, Kai Havertz is an offensive-minded midfielder. He can play across all front 3 positions, and he can also play in the middle in all 3, probably taking up one of either Genie, the Wijnaldum Ox role of essentially a Mazzala. He does play the majority of his games in the central attack and mid position though, which would may facilitate a change of formation for us to a 4-2-3-1, which we have played in the past and we were fairly good with it. We can also use him as part of our regular midfield 3 as well, if we use him in the Genie Ox kind of role. I'm just looking at his numbers now, and for a player that's 20 years old, they're fantastic as far as I'm concerned. They're better than similar players we have of a similar age. And bear in mind, this guy's doing these numbers in the Bundesliga for one of the top teams in Bayer Leverkusen. Now, last season, the 18-19 season, he got 17 goals and 3 assists, which is a fantastic return. That was better than any of our midfielders at the moment, and creativity in goals from midfield is something that we're absolutely crying out for. So just based on that, you're scoring 17 goals from midfield. Makes sense. That breaks down to 2 headers, 2 right-footed goals, 10 left-footed goals and 3 pens. So he's a very left-footed player, which would suit him playing alongside Henderson. If you have Fabinho in the 6, Henderson and Kai Havertz, because Henderson prefers the right, he'd prefer the left. The current season, 19-20 that we're in, he's only got 3 goals, which is a significant drop from the season prior. But there are factors to that. Julian Brandt, another player that we were linked with in the summer, he moved to Dortmund. Now Julian Brandt was doing a lot of the legwork, getting the assists, running the balls, basically making Kai Havertz's only job in that team be to bomb up from midfield, get goals. Now he's gone, a lot of that's fallen on Havertz himself, so his numbers have dropped, but I do feel if he came to a team like ours, where you've got creativity coming from the wing backs, the inside forwards, basically from everywhere, balls coming from everywhere, he'd hit his high numbers again and potentially exceed them. Now, he's got other qualities that make him a good fit for our team as well. And as I mentioned earlier, he'd play in the same kind of position that Wijnaldum or Oxwood, but I do think he'd be a direct upgrade on Gini Wijnaldum. I love Gini Wijnaldum, as I've mentioned in a previous video, and he's a fantastic player, but can we do better? Yes, we can do Kai Havertz younger and does everything Gini does better. So what are these qualities? Main quality, going forward from the middle, usually from an attacking midfield position, but he does drop deeper to essentially where Wijnaldum would play and then bomb forward from there. It's those vertical runs in the box. He starts in his own half and he just runs forward, and whether that's with the ball or without it, he just runs forward, keeps in line with the play, and he either gets the ball served into him and scores, or he'll run it forward and score himself, or lay it off and create. So easy. Exactly what we're crying out for. A vertical playing, ball carrying midfielder that can score goals. As I mentioned, I think I've just mentioned it, he's a very quick player as well, and he's very quick with the ball at his feet, which is once again ideal for us because we are, well, one of the weapons in our armoury is quick counter-attacks, and you can't have quick counter-attacks if you can't get the ball, if you can't move it fast, and if you physically can't move as fast with the ball. None of these are issues for Kai Havertz. As I say, perfect fit for that aspect of our game. Now, we're famed for playing the gegenpress, that's Klopp's system, and the way he scores his goals and the way he contributes in the attacking third is a perfect fit with that ethos for the team. I watched all his goals from last season. The vast majority of them came from him anticipating a mistake from an opposition player, capitalising on that mistake and either scoring or laying off for an assist. So given that we do press teams, we're like a boa constrictor. We just wrap around the team, push them back, push them into their own box, force mistakes, and then capitalise on them. Kai Havertz is another man in that squad that could capitalise on those mistakes. You can go and watch it yourself. There's a video I watched to do a bit of my research on him, which was a tactical analysis of Kai Havertz on the Bundesliga channel. It's all in there, you'll see exactly what I mean. Now, those quick vertical runs into the box that he does, that I mentioned earlier, our delivery is either Trent and Robbo bombing down the wings, and Trent prefers a cross, whereas Robbo prefers to get to the byline and whip a fast flat ball across the back line. Perfect for Kai Havertz. Runs in, taps in, because that's exactly what he does for Bayer Leverkusen. When Mane or Salah are on the ball out wide, they either do the same, play the ball across the box, or they do a cutback to Firmino. Kai Havertz can also contribute to that, because with that cutback, if he lingers back a bit after the vertical run, goal, assist, goal, assist, you know what I mean? These are aspects of his play that really benefit what we do as an attacking team. So, money. How much is this kid going to cost? He's a generational talent. He's going to be one of the best players in the world in the future, and that kind of potential does not come cheap. The rumoured fee is around 125 million euros. Seems a lot for a player of his age, but when you look at his numbers, look at his quality, look at his ability, he's worth every penny. If we don't buy him, then he'll be making Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City stronger, because he will end up at an elite European team, because he is just that good. And we need to make sure that that elite European team is Liverpool Football Club. Now, on to the next player. Now, I'm very excited about this potential transfer, because Timo Werner is a player I've appreciated for quite a while. For the past couple of years, I've bought him on Football Manager, and he's led every team I've managed to glory. Does that mean anything in the real world? Absolutely not. It really doesn't mean anything, but what he's doing in the real world is fantastic. So we're moving on to the goal machine, that is Timo Werner. Timo Werner is 23 years of age, younger than Divock Origi, plays as a striker or as a left-sided forward, much in the mould of a Sadio Mane. Not as tricky, but in that kind of mould. Since the start of the 18-19 season, so that's last season, in all competitions, he's got 42 goals and 14 assists. The vast majority coming with his right foot. Now, those numbers are comparable to the likes of Mo Salah, Sadio Mane. He's hitting those numbers in an inferior team. Imagine what he could do in a team of our quality, in the best team in the world, in the European Champions team. What could this kid do? Well, you can't talk about Timo Werner and you can't not mention pace, 35 kilometers an hour is his clocked top speed with the ball. That ball at feet, running at defences. His acceleration is second to none. Exactly what any team in Europe, any team in the world would love a player like Timo Werner. How does this play into him in the Premier League? Because he's got such acceleration and such pace, a lot of his goals in the Bundesliga come from him lurking, prowling on the edge of the opposition's defence, but always a couple of steps back. Why does he do that? It's because he offside traps. This guy breaks offside traps. He's that fast. He can hang back after a ball's been played, let a defender get a step or two on him, and still beat them to the ball. And then once he's beaten the defender to the ball, be it out wide or through the middle, he'll exploit the space, charge for goal, and, well, you know, c'est la vie. That works well in the Premier League because with VAR being the way it is and the offsides being so minute, strikers that do cling to the very shoulder of the defence are often getting caught out. Not going to be a problem for Timo Werner because he doesn't hang on the shoulder. He takes a step or two back and then just beats into the ball anyway. Absolute class. His shooting style is noted to be a bit weird as well, and by weird I mean brilliant. He prefers to go for the far post with the vast majority of his shots, even if the near post is easier. He's had great success with this. Just look at his numbers, look at his goals, and the vast majority of them with his right foot, and that's coming from the left side or the left side of centre, because he say this is the opposition's goal, he tends to operate in this area here. Goes with the inside of the foot, a lot of power. Nothing the goalie can do about it. Playing in a Sadio Mane-esque position, just being able to cut in and hit that far corner at will, or cut a ball back to Bobby or lay one across the Mo with his pace. Tasty. A fantastic recipe for, oh God. What more do we have to say? So let's talk money. Timo Werner, a player of this ability, turning out these numbers, this age, surely you're talking Neymar, Mbappe money. No, you're not. You're actually not. According to Bild, which is a reputable German sports publisher, he's got a release clause of only £51 million, and that's supposed to decrease each year until the end of his contract. £51 million. Arsenal paid upwards of 70 for Nicolas Pepe. £51 million for one of the best up-and-coming forwards in world football. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Do you know what I mean? It's not even a debate about whether we should sign this kid. It's when are we signing this kid? So how could we expect to see this deal done? With that release clause being in there, plenty of teams are sniffing around. Why wouldn't he be? He's been linked with Chelsea. I'm surprised City aren't contacting about him. All the big boys, Juve, PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona. The list is endless of teams that would pay £51 million to have a player of his talent. So Liverpool need to get on this fast, and I can imagine a Naby Keita style of deal being done for Timo Werner. As you're aware, we paid a premium above the release clause for Naby Keita, but it allowed us to get the signing done early, and then we let him stay at Leipzig until the end of the season. Leipzig aren't likely to want to let him go when they are on a massive title push themselves. That's perfectly understandable. So I can imagine us doing that kind of deal because we're not greatly pressed at the moment. We're miles ahead in the league. We're basically champions of England. I'm going to say it. I know, don't talk about it. Don't say it. No one's catching us. We're league champions. Come back in May. And yeah, I am right. We are going to be the champions of England. So we don't need to upset the apple cart with Leipzig at the moment. Why would we? We have a good working relationship with the Red Bull Sports Group, having done deals for the likes of Keita and Minamino in the past, and we do have a good working relationship with them, and they are an absolute player factory. So we want to keep them sweet so we can potentially get more signings from them in the future, because they do have a lot of good, young, talented players. So Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, imagine the two of them in our team. Imagine how much they'd improve us, not just in the terms of depth, but in the terms of going forward. Timo Werner 23, Kai Havertz 2021, I can't remember. These two lads can be part of the next generation, Klopp's next team, but when the likes of Wijnaldum move on, Salah move on, Firmino move on, because they will. Unfortunately, I know no one likes to talk about it, but this is modern football. They are going to move on eventually, and it is part of our business plan. Why not have these lads in now, ready to go? They practically know what they're doing in the system already, because a lot of teams in Germany play gegenpress. It just makes absolute sense to do this business. Maybe not January, but get the deals done for the summer, just so that it's all there, ready to go, and the next generation is ready to come through. So that's pretty much all I've got to say on the matter, to be honest. I'm looking forward to see if we can manage to get these lads in, because they absolutely will take us to the next level. They would make us, I can't even think about it, the table's going to rise about 6 inches if I carry on talking about it. Anyway, that's all I've currently got to say on the matter. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Do you rate Kai Havertz? Do you rate Timo Werner? Do you think they would be great additions to our team? Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. We are a new channel, so any support you can give us is greatly appreciated. So yeah, thanks for your time, and up the Reds.